Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. I'm glad you stayed with us because during the break, Lennie was sharing an article that he has found about your favorite person, Jack, Michael Madigan.
Unfavorite.
Now, Lennie, what is this that you have uncovered about Michael Madigan?
This article that was recently in the Tribune actually talks about a former state worker of Michael Madigan, Gail Perkey. She left working for the state to go to work for the teachers union a long time ago. Her last state salary was $36,000. In 2007, Michael Madigan, in the lame duck session, pushed through some pension initiatives that allowed Gail Perkey and some others to get pension back on the state time and use
she'd just been an employee of the unions.
Yes, up for the last 20 years, basically, she's been an employee of the union. She put her money back in and to pay for the pension. The estimate is she'll get at least $3 million back of taxpayer dollars because she's now retired at over $100,000 a year on the taxpayer because of her time she worked as a union lobbyist. And all because of Michael Madigan.
Talk about perkies. He knows our perkies getting some perks.
That's just one detail.
Yes.
In
never
this book.
taught a soul.
You'll find hundreds.
She never taught a soul. Not even a teacher.
Like that.
Right.
A union boss.
Yes.
She's a union boss. She was never a teacher.
She was never a teacher.
So,
she worked for Mike Madigan.
What was her salary?
Her original state salary was $36,000 was her last state salary.
That's not a lot of money.
As a union lobbyist, she was making $195,000 before she retired.
Teachers, this is what they're doing to our teachers' pensions.
The pensions are in trouble is stuff like this.
The poor teachers are investing, and they're the ones that are going to get dinged when this goes wrong. And you've got these cronies getting millions of dollars on these poor teachers' backs and taxpayers.
Let me give this additional significance. Our whole school system, public school system, K-12, has run completely awry, and a lot of it is in this book, and there's hundreds of examples like you brought up in here. And this is all because the unions are running the education system. They are running it.
The union bosses, not
yes, the management.
Union members.
Listen,
union bosses.
Those superintendents are a bunch of stuffed shirts. Their managers have got special certificates that they got to have before the money managers can work in a school district. So any real money manager that's learned his trade in industry or a real place of business can't be hired by the school district. So you got a bunch of ninnies there that are not managers at all. But what you got is some really flinty-eyed SOBs in the union that are actually running your education system where your kids are going to learn what? Well, they're going there to learn what the socialistic unions thinks that your kids should be getting.
Our
and
kids
that's the
aren't
way
even
the spending is going.
learners.
And the unions elect, because of the tremendous power and all of the money they have, they pretty much elect the people that are on the school board.
Yes,
the superintendent doesn't even get to stick his snoot into the negotiations of what the pay is. One of the rotten laws you got in the state is that nobody can poke into the negotiations between the teachers union and the school board, which the teachers union in the last election of school boards most likely put so much money in that most of the people in the school board are palsies that were put in
we uncovered
out of the education.
Yeah, we uncovered that whole network in 2011 of how the unions were working to make sure they got their people elected to the school boards, which leaves the taxpayers out in the cold with no place at the table.
Taxpayers and the kids are out in the cold, and they've bought off the administrators and the other and a lot of the teachers by scamming the whole system, and that's resulted in the bankruptcy of the whole state of Illinois because of the doggone pensions for the K-12 system alone. I got to say it again, $160 billion in the hole, and it can't possibly be paid. But all of that money has corrupted the whole political system of the state of Illinois. Wherever you look, these guys are working deals.
Follow the money.
The fundamental money for wrecking the state of Illinois comes out of the teacher unions. I don't think I've accused them of a felony. I think I've accused us all of being a bunch of saps for letting these guys run our school system and teach our kids what? I'm a businessman, and I'll tell you, most of the people that apply for jobs can't do fifth grade arithmetic. So all that money, $16,000 per child in the state of Illinois, and our kids aren't really learning much of any but a bunch of socialist crap from the unions.
Well,
but now, Lennie, school board elections petitions are being passed now.
Yes.
For school board elections that are happening when? February?
April.
April.
Yeah, the elections will be in April. You can start passing petitions now. They've been out for about a week. The turn-in date for petitions is December 17th through December 24th.
That's after this election.
After the election.
Right.
And most school boards, you only need 50 signatures to be able to run for school board. If you'll notice, there's a lot of school districts that don't even get enough positions.
Everybody better get going, and the Tea Party people especially, who understand the values of the United States of America are a lot different than the values of the stinking IEA plans for what this country and the schools are about.
Yeah.
But you know what? That would really help Illinois if a lot of folks stepped up and ran for school board.
Yes, it would.
Absolutely.
Because they would be protectors of taxpayer dollars, because they're the taxpayers, they're not the unions.
You got it.
Right, they would be. And that's where we're running into the problems where you've got the unions going to the legislature, getting them to pass laws, and they're taking more and more control away from the parents. The parents are losing control of education.
Folks, this isn't the firemen and policemen.
Right.
That's entirely separate, and it's local, and we aren't
oh, no, it's
trying to say bad things about people that might have to take a bullet. But these rascals that are running the union, they have crapped all over this state, and your kids as well.
Oh, I'm starting to call it, instead of the union leaders, I'm starting to call them teacher organizers, because that's what they're doing. They're agitating the crowds. And the teachers are the victims of their own union at this point.
Well, you know what? We are going to hear more about teachers and teachers' unions when we come back after the break. Stay with us.